Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode. Today, I just want to talk about just things that I think, overthink. I think that overthinking is something that a lot of people can get caught up with and caught up in. And we think that we need to just have all this knowledge and we need to take all these exams and take all these tests and take all these courses and all these trainings, and we don't realize that like we're already equipped. Yes, some careers, some jobs are going to require certain things, right? That's understandable. It's those times when you have been waiting to do something, you've been waiting to excel at something or become successful or hit a certain goal, but we're stalling ourselves because we're constantly overthinking it. We're constantly self-sabotaging. We're making excuses. We're kind of coming up with reasons why it's not the right time or why you can't do something or why you can't, be consistent. Like there's just so many times that I can even recognize looking through my journey and just doing some self-evaluation where I overthought a lot of stuff. I, I couldn't react. Didn't want to react, but I didn't know how to respond. And I put too much time and focus and attention on the problem and didn't really put enough attention and time on the solution. And so like a really good example, really, really good example. In March of this year, for some reason my social media, a couple of my platforms kept getting flagged, right? They kept getting flagged, and I couldn't figure out like what was going on. And I would do the appeals and everything would go through, and sometimes, the first time it was just a couple minutes, then a couple hours, and then like a day, and then like pretty soon it became like weeks, right? And I was just like so confused and trying to figure out like what was I doing wrong. um and I didn't know, and they wouldn't tell me, and they were so vague with what I did wrong and what rule I supposedly broke and like all these things. And so I was so focused on what I was doing wrong. And then it happened like every month. Okay, from March, April, May, and then in June, they like completely took it down permanently, two of them, right? And I was like devastated because like I had these social media platforms since 2009. I, had them for, quite a lot of memories and a lot of journeys and a lot of things. Shared a lot of my story, a lot of lives, a lot of testimony on my page. And a lot of my story was there. And so I was really devastated, to be honest. I felt devastated and ill for a few days. And it was crazy because if I would have done some self-reflection and looked for the solution, I actually could have taken myself back 2 months prior to when it went away permanently in June. And that would be April. I was actually on a coach call with my life coach, and we were talking about my business and we were talking about my network and like my potentials and all of the things, right? We were doing like an assessment. And she told me that have the wrong I have the wrong network and I needed a new network. And I was like, okay, I'll add more people, different people on. No, 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 you're not understanding. Like the whole network needs to change. Like she expressed how I needed to like revamp things. And so I did my best to think I was doing that, but I was still falling pattern and victim, I feel like, to the self-image mask, where you're putting on the mask and you're trying to be somebody and you're trying to do your best to like raise your vibration, and you're learning and growing into this new person. And a lot of people can get jealous during that time, or a lot of people can just see you as like faking it, right? And I wasn't. I was loving myself. I was falling so much in love with myself to change my to change who I was, I wanted to evolve. Like I want to grow into my best self. And there's parts of me that I want to fall in love with because I've never loved those parts of me. And people were beginning to see that authenticity. And some people, because I had the wrong network, couldn't understand and and weren't in a mindset to be open-minded to what I was changing and evolving into and becoming. And I had a lot of negative hate and feedback, right? Which we get that. It's fine. It's not like that's ever going to go away. You're always going to have people criticize and judge, even though they shouldn't be. That's not the way we should be doing things, right? It happens because it's a mindset thing. It's really a self-image issue. And so for me, I didn't really I took those things personal and I started focusing more on the problem again. And then shortly thereafter, I had to figure out a solution because I still needed social media platforms. I still needed connections. Like, how can I have a team? Like, I have a team of people who are counting on me to lead them, are counting on me to guide them and coach them. I had clientele, like I have clientele. And so like it really just makes you see like who's committed and who's not, to be honest, because a lot of people walked away because obviously I didn't show up or I quit on them or whatever their mindset told them. A lot of people walked away and kind of some were nasty about it and faulted me, and really it was out of my hands. It was beyond my control. And I tried to create new accounts and they shut those down. So altogether I think I had 6 accounts shut down. um and so like you don't know what's going to happen like that. And so I came up with solutions. I finally it took me a while, I'm not going to lie, but it was my life coach who kind of snapped me out of it. I kept showing up to classes and kept watching her lives and kept like paying attention to our group page. And like I try to just try to get connected to her, right? And we're on Zoom, so that helped too. But I just took the information I had still, that I didn't lose, and I transferred it to new platforms. I transferred it to more secure locations so that it wouldn't be lost like that again. I got strategic. I got strategic and I decided that if I was going to rebrand myself, if I was going to start over, but I don't consider it starting over, I consider it just a new chapter, right? It's a new chapter. And it's a new season, like whatever you want to call it. But I don't ever consider starting over because the whole journey is important. And if said I started over every time something happened, I wouldn't have a whole journey. I'd have just like all these do start overs, right? Which I would prefer the journey because it's about the journey for me. It should be about the journey for us. And so I just had this another season of my journey, another chapter, right? And I finally just said, you know what? Who am I? Like, who am I and who do I want to become? And where am I? And like, where am I at? Like, what do I want? And I got really intentional with the things I wanted to do to show up for myself. That is my self development. That is working with my mindset coach consistently every single day, getting on my Zooms with her, doing my morning meditation and prayer, just really showing up mindful and my thoughts and paying attention to things. And I've seen this transformation and I stopped overthinking it though. That's really what it was, is I flipped the problem to what's the solution. I flipped from what's the problem? Oh my gosh, I have this problem and it's bad and I don't know what to do, to all right, I have this obstacle and it's an opportunity, really. It's not an obstacle. I have this opportunity in my hands to make something really good out of this. And it may not be easy to find the good in it in the beginning when you're learning this, but the more you practice it, you just have to dig for the good. And sometimes it's going to be, you got to realize it's going to be the tiny little things that are going to be so good that are going to pull you through to find those solutions. And so these things felt like they were my Mount Everest and I was never going to get to the top. And what changed for me was that I wanted more. I have commitments and I have goals and I have dreams and I've seen them and I've felt them and I like literally felt the emotions that go with them, and I know that they're possible, and I want to help so many people. I want to impact so many lives, and I want my family to just have so much goodness in their life, right? I want to be healthy, whole, healed, and wealthy and self-sufficient and like all of these wonderful, miraculous things that I want to do for people. Like they're just beautiful things I want to do and I would love to do, right? And every time something comes up, I'm like, oh, that'd be great. And I'm just constantly thinking of these new ideas. And what happens is through these new ideas and I'm thinking, I'm reprogramming myself. I am changing who I am and my self image. And I'm not going to be for everybody. Like that's just reality. And that's okay. I'm looking for those people who want to do this life with me, who would want to change their lives, who are sick of where they're at and want some change and want to work on their mindset, who want to work on their self-development, who want to grow into a better person. I truly am looking for those people. But I'm also looking for the people who want that freedom, freedom of time and joy and peace and just so much wonderful things. Freedom to travel when they want to, freedom to get the things that their family needs without hesitation or checking a bank account. Like, I want to give them the freedom of just loving what they do and enjoying like their day to day, because I feel like so many people don't like going to work, or so many people don't like their job, or they don't like what they get to do each day, or they're struggling and they are like suffering with burnout. I went through these things because I overthought every damn thing, because I over like zealously, like, how do I explain it? I just grinded. I just went and I would overthink things and it would take me forever to make decisions. And what I realized is that I needed to become a decision maker. I needed to work on that self-development of that self-image and like who I truly, am, and be her, like embody her. And so I went and got a massage yesterday, and I've never gotten a professional massage, FYI, and it felt good. And had really good conversation with the girl. Like she was really just an incredible person to kind of listen to and like get knowledge from. And I feel great today. Like I feel so much better today. I go see the chiropractor here in a little bit, and like just that self care that I'm doing. And my book, I'm so close to like have it released. I am doing the last final editing, and I thought I was done with final editing, but I'm gonna do one more edit and just make sure I got everything, get it all done, see if I want to add any photos. My cover's done. I got to do the spine and the back and the little part about myself, and just I am excited for that. Like, I'm excited for it. I'm so excited to share more of my story with people. It's something that with my career that I have, and even with this podcast, I share my story a lot. And so to be able to have it tangible where somebody can like hold it in their hands and they can get something of value from it, because I'm not just sharing the problems. I'm going to share how I found the solutions. And I think that is what people really ultimately need. Yes, it's good to hear all the things I've gone through and what I went through and like how I handled them and all the things, right? But I want you to see how I walked out of that hellstorm and how I'm able to change my life, because I'm still a work in progress, but I think that it's just where I'm at is a pivotal point in my life. And it's just a pivotal point to share it with people, because I want to give hope to you. I want to inspire you to not quit on your dreams and your goals, but also not on yourself. And to start being your best friend, start being your own best friend instead of your own worst critic. And so like I get to share some resources and tools, things that I've been doing. And then just being able to offer some ideas. And I think that by that'll just be the beginning. I think that's literally going to be the beginning of my book, because the next thing I want to talk to you about in a second book is actually going to be more of the tools and resources that that are available, because I think so many people don't realize what skills and what things that you can use. And then I'm also going to do a family cookbook. I know it sounds so crazy, but I'm so excited for this because I have so many recipes, and I noticed that as I'm getting older, sometimes I forget them, right? Even though I can do them by memory, I still forget them to when I go to write them down. I'm like, oh crud, I didn't like pay attention as I was putting that in. I just did it by memory. And so I don't know if I used a cup or two cups, or I don't know if I used a half or a whole, and so my kids are starting to cook, and they're wanting to learn how to cook the recipes I'm cooking. Plus I have clients who are on a healthier lifestyle journey, and they want to know the foods I eat and how I maintain, and like what I do with my products and like different things. Um, and then I also have like my business partners that I'm bringing in that may also want that as a tool, right? And so I'm like super excited for that to come out too. And so um it's going to be an awesome, like, this year, like end of the year and new year. And I'm just like super excited for these things that are occurring in my life. And so all of these things tie into what I do professionally. And so and it's just something that these are tools that I've needed to create for some time, and I just have not. And so to be action inspired to do these things has just been phenomenal. I'm in like the second stage of the cookbook, literally just getting things written down all the way and moved together and onto pages is all I have to do for that. It's like I already have every recipe. There's going to be about 100 recipes in that book. It's going to be phenomenal. And then and all of these recipes I have created myself. Anything I did get from someone else will be like it'll be credited, don't worry. But I'm confident these are all self-made recipes. I was very intentional with that because it's my own creations, and that's really why my kids wanted me to make it. And my team, like my business partners, they asked me the same thing. "Well, you need to write a cookbook because like we need your recipes," because I'm constantly sharing a recipe with them, or telling them about a recipe I made, or sharing something we ate. Like, oh my God, I tried this. It was so good. You got to try it. And if you don't know, like I'm allergic to wheat, so I'm gluten free, and then I'm really low sugar. I wouldn't say no sugar, but low sugar. And I try to be sugar free. Just I'm hypoglycemic, so it could really mess with me if I um, get amping in my body. So I do my best to just get with the natural stuff. And so that's just little things that I've learned, that have tips and tricks along the way that have assisted. And so I know I kind of got off on a little tangent on the books, but I was just so excited about that. And it's that not overthinking it that got me to where I'm at right now writing those. Um, I can tell you that these books were placed on my heart in 2020 and 2021, and I was scared, and I overthought it, and I was overthinking everything. And I finally just decided that I needed to just do it. And I found an amazing opportunity, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this and run with it. Why not? It was something that I was in meditation and prayer one morning, and it came to me, and it's time is what I kept hearing. It's time. And so in July, I started like all these things have taken action: July, August, September, and here we are at the end of October. And so like I'm just super, super excited because I thought, oh, I can get this done really fast. And the reality is I have been working on my self-image as I'm writing my story, as I'm writing this book for you for everybody to learn and grow from and to be inspired by. I am also working on my self-image at the same time. So I'm going back and reflecting on these things, and I understand. And I love myself, and I talk to my little child self and just remind her how amazing she is and how incredible she is and how strong she is, and the things that she went through, she doesn't have to suffer anymore. Like, she gets to be loved, and I get to love her. She gets to love herself. And there's like no shame and no guilt. Like, you can't fall short if you don't have the tools and you're not equipped and you don't understand. And we criticize things and we criticize ourselves and others in so many areas, and we overthink things and we judge, and we don't realize that we're doing it sometimes. But if you just pause and pay attention to your thoughts and your words and ask yourself, are those going to help me or hinder me? And the answer is obvious. And don't feel bad when it's the hindering. Just work on changing it. Think of other thoughts that you can change in place of that. So, like my life coach was saying something, and she said, "No, I want you to, how can you reword that to sound better?" And I had said something and I had used it more like in a negative. And so she had me change it to a positive, and it does change things. You are capable, you are equipped. You don't need a bunch of trainings. You don't need a bunch of this and that. You just need to go out and do it, right? You just need to go out and ask. You need to go out and and just get thing and take action. And I think that's because so many people that are overthinking it, we're spending so much time trying to focusing on the problem or coming up with 500 solutions, but none of them are good, or all of these things, right? And we're not settling on that one and taking that action and being intuitively called to it. Like, does it feel good? If you want to find the solution to anything and you want to stop overthinking, ask yourself this one question: does this feel good? If the answer is no, then obviously it's not the right thing to do. Don't do it. Don't do it anyways because everybody else tells you to. That's your intuition and your gut telling you, "Hey, this is not for us. This is not aligned with where we're headed." And you're going to slow things down and dampen your magnet that attracts everything you want if you're doing things that don't feel good. And a lot of people don't understand that. Oh, just do it. It's no big deal. We push buttons for a living. It's no big deal. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. No, that is so false and so far from the truth. Grind, it doesn't get you where you want to go. It's not sustainable. And that's what people don't understand is grinding is not sustainable. And so the best way is intuitive action. And so go do things you love. Get outside in nature. Go fall in love with painting and art or drawing or writing or what it is that you love. If you're cooking, if there's something a career or profession you love doing, like go do those things. Fall in love with helping people. That'll change things really fast. Giving service will change everything so quickly. You can't overthink it when you're giving back to people. You can't. It's so incredible. You're in that vibe. It's such a high feeling, high vibration feeling when you're giving service and you're helping other people. You feel good. They feel good. They're thanking you. They're appreciative. You're grateful that you can help them. Like it just feels damn good. And so go do service. Like these are things I've been realizing that we forget to do or we lack. And have fun with what you're doing. If you love doing it, go do it and find those things in your life that bring you joy. And then you can incorporate your business or incorporate your dreams and your goals, like what it is your dream career or your dream partner, like whatever it is, right? Your dream car, like whatever. It could be your dream vacation or nothing like that at all. Just you want to feel better and be your best self. Right? Like me, I wanted to heal from that 37 years of trauma. Like, and I am healed from that 37 years of trauma. I'm claiming it. I am healed. I'm healed. I'm healed. And I just like how incredible, right? To be able to speak that out loud, speak it and claim it and see it and witness it, and to be able to walk into a room and not have anxiety. Oh my goodness, it is such a blessing. And and so, like, these are things that we get to be in charge of. We get to be in control of our emotions. Nobody else gets to tell us how to feel. So if you're like, you made me feel like this, no, you made yourself feel like that. And I'm going to call you to a higher level. No one else is in control of your emotions but you. I used to be that person that overthought it, and somebody would say something, and then I would let it affect me. Stop it. We don't have to do that. What you have to do is call yourself to a higher level, and you have to work on your self image and realize that you are in control of your emotions. And it takes some work. I've got some tools. If you ever want them, just reach out. And really, it's those little things that we don't realize can impact us, or we don't realize will impact others around us, right? And so overthinking can literally be a ripple effect. And so it's something that we definitely want to begin working on. And there's no shame in it. We've all, at least at some point in our lives, I'm sure, have overthought something, right? And so there's no shame in it, but there is opportunity to grow. And so I hope this helps you. I don't want to make it too long, but I just love being able to give light to you and open your eyes and your heart to the most beautiful person that you get to become. If you believe that you're at your best self right now, just understand that that's false. There's more potential in you. There's more for you to give to others. There's more for you to offer this planet. And so I hope that you truly embody the amazing human being that you are. And just know that you are God's highest potential. Like, you are infinite potential. He created us and designed us in love and joy, and our attitude is everything. And so no more self-sabotaging. It's time for you to pick up your pen and rewrite your story. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of the week.